Do you want to know about best beginner drones? Yes, you are in the right place. We have tried to include in-depth information on beginner drones in our video, which will be enough to fulfill all of your needs. All of them are maintaining their features, prices, quality, durability, and reputation of the manufacturer and real customer feedback. If you want to buy the best beginner drones, we think this list will be very worthy to you. Now, let's get started with the video. Number 1 is the DJI Mini 3 Pro. It's by far the most expensive model in this list, but the Mini 3 Pro is also the best drone around for beginners with large budgets. It's a big step up from the DJI Mini 2 in almost every way, but the most useful feature for novice flyers are its tri-directional obstacle avoidance sensors. These not only give you a safety net when flying around tree branches, they also help unlock lots of automated modes like focus track, which we found particularly useful during our testing. The other big upgrade from the Mini 2 is the Mini 3 Pro's camera. During our daylight tests, the drone's 12.1 MP 1/1.3-inch sensor produced excellent image quality, with very little noise up to its maximum ISO 6400 setting. The bright f/1.7 lens and dual native ISO tech means low light performance is strong for such a small drone, if not quite as good as larger models like the DJI Air 2S. With other benefits like the ability to shoot in portrait without cropping and the new optional DJI RC controller, which is a super convenient way to fly the drone, the Mini 3 Pro is a fine choice for beginners if you can stretch to its price tag. Moving on to the next at number 2 with Ryze Tello. Designed in partnership with DJI, Ryze Tello is an affordable, compact and lightweight drone that's ideal for mastering the basics. It's controllable via your smartphone running the Tello app and Wi-Fi, but you can also use a Bluetooth gaming controller, albeit at a shorter range. We appreciate that it's proven to be a responsive and lively flyer during our tests. That makes it an effective teacher so you can master the ups and downs of twin-stick quadcopter flying. It even features stability sensors to minimize drifting when it's supposed to be static, and the 13-minute battery life isn't bad at all. It's not all positive. The flight range is limited, well below the 100 maximum Ryze suggests. Think 30 instead, while the slightest breeze will send the drone drifting off in whatever direction it's blowing. The 720 type video camera isn't up to much either, and with no local storage it sends all footage and photos directly to your phone, which results in choppy video if and when the Wi-Fi connection dips in and out. Those caveats aside, the Tello is a great starter drone that does the simple things well and feels better made than other budget models. It's the obvious pick for the best budget beginner drone category. 3 position is held by DJI Mini 2. The DJI Mavic Mini was an aerial game changer, offering strong battery life, accessible controls and fantastic footage, all in a compact folding package. Almost identical to its predecessor, the DJI Mini 2 features a handful of upgrades that make it an even better beginner drone. Small enough to slip in a jacket pocket, we found the second generation Mini to be even easier to fly thanks to a revamped controller. The streamlined handset has proven to be advanced yet intuitive during our tests, permitting nuanced inputs without overwhelming the pilot. It's truly a joy to operate in, with a maximum range of 10 km, improves the entire flying experience. The hardware itself might be familiar, but improved motors, stabilization and wind resistance deliver rock-steady footage in all but the breeziest conditions, while battery life remains solid with a flight time of around 30 minutes. And though the sensor resolution is the same as before, the Mini 2 can capture buttery-smooth footage in sharp 4K at 30 fps. Scenes are a little underexposed for easier editing, but clarity is undeniably impressive. It's not a total overhaul and there's still no obstacle avoidance, but the DJI Mini 2 is nevertheless the best starter drone beginners can buy. Next at number 4 we have Autel Evo Nano Plus. The Autel Evo Nano Plus is taking on DJI Mini 3 Pro in the sub-250 drone category. That, in of itself, is no easy undertaking, with the latter being so near darn perfect. To its credit, the Evo Nano Plus is an impressive beginner drone in its own right. During our tests, we found that it surpasses our current top pick, the DJI Mini 2, when it comes to low-light performance, thanks to its sensor, and is just about on par when dealing with windy conditions. That makes it an easy recommendation for us, especially when you love capturing sunsets and nighttime cityscapes, not to mention if you need a high-performance drone that meets Europe's critical weight limits. Admittedly, the Mini 3 Pro has the overall edge here. However, the Evo Nano Plus should see refinements over time, thanks to Autel's adding new features and making improvements via firmware updates. And if you're looking for an ace alternative to DJI offerings, This one should be at the top of your list. The number 5 position is held by DJI Avata. The DJI Avata isn't as approachable as the more traditional drones on this list, but it is a great introduction to FPV, first-person view flying. Using a combination of DJI motion controller and one of its 2 flavors of DJI goggles, you can fly indoors or outside while shooting impressive 4K/6i video. Aside from the baffling position of its micro SD card slot inside one of its blade rings, the DJI Avata is well designed, pretty crash-resistant and easy to fly. DJI motion controller, which sees the drone respond to your hand movements, might be an acquired taste for those who are used to more traditional controllers. We wish DJI also offered a bundle with its FPV remote controller, which costs $139 $139. But you can buy that separately and the drone can hit top speeds of 6 to whichever one you go for. Pro shooters will be pleased to see support for the flat descent-like profile, and as long as you're aware of its limitations, like needing a spotter alongside you if you're shooting outdoors, then the DJI Avata is an ideal choice for beginner FPV pilots who want to shoot some unique aerial footage. The number 6 position is dominated by DJI FPV. We know that beginner FPV drone sounds like an oxymoron, but the DJI FPV proves otherwise. First-person view drones, newcomers in the drone world, typically take a lot of practice to master, with them needing a lot of fine-tuning and being completely manual. However, this offering from DJI makes FPV flying a lot more accessible to beginners thanks to its built-in GPS and collision sensors. During our tests, these features minimize the one big thing FPV drones are notorious for: crashes. Improving your experience is the excellent digital feed and connection between the drone and the terrific DJI goggles. Another massive reason why this is the FPV drone for beginners is that unlike others that you have to build yourself, this one is ready to fly out of the box. Factor in its excellent video footage and image quality, and it's hard for us to recommend anything else to those looking for the best beginner FPV drone. Moving on to the next at number 7 with Fimi X8 Mini. Drones of any size will always be measured up against the best that DJI has to offer. But if the DJI Mini 2 didn't exist, Fimi X8 Mini could be the perfect entry-level 4K drone. It's slightly cheaper than the Mini 2, yet offers many of the features that make its flying rival winner. Light enough to fall within the sub-250 category, the folding quadcopter is properly portable, as is the well-designed remote, thanks to thumbsticks that unscrew and tuck into the base. Despite its compact size, we found that the Fimi flew well in normal conditions and could also survive blustery weather. At 30 minutes, the battery life was solid, while 4K footage captured at 30 fps by the 12MP Sony CMOS sensor was sharp and stable, in large part thanks to the 3-axis mechanical gimbal which kept things steady. We found the companion app to be simple and effective, too. So why doesn't it topple the DJI Mini 2? While the all-round package is compelling for the price, it isn't quite as polished as DJI effort. You don't get forward-facing collision sensors, either. But if for any reason you don't want a DJI drone, the Fimi X8 Mini comes as a convincing, and more affordable, alternative. The number 8 position is held by Potensic Dreamer 4K. Don't be fooled by the name, the Dreamer 4K doesn't record 4K video. Its still photos might be at 4K resolution, 3840x2160, or 8MP, but videos are restricted to 2688x1512, or 2.7K. It's a cheeky little trick, but then there's a lot to this drone that isn't quite as it first seems. With its excellent build quality, high-capacity battery, GPS and sturdy, phone-gripping twin-stick controller, the well-packaged Dreamer 4K looks and feels like a serious drone. Something akin to the DJI Phantom range, perhaps. In reality, it's just a toy-class drone wearing fancier threads, with performance sadly not quite meeting the expectations set by its outward appearance. In our tests, the gimbal-less camera was shaky and unstable, while the impressive controller only worked to a range of around 15 before the video feed to our phone became choppy. Battery life runs to well over 25 minutes per charge, however, and the drone does fly smoothly and responsively over its Wi-Fi connection. So this isn't a complete deal breaker. The Dreamer just isn't quite the drone its looks and build quality suggest. Finally, the number 9 position is dominated by Potensic T25. One of the more advanced beginner drones at this price, the Potensic T25 comes with one feature that sets it apart from its toy contemporaries: GPS. This gives it a return to home feature. Tap a button on the controller and it'll come back to where it launched from and will help you locate it should you crash it out of sight somewhere. It also comes with a hard carry case included. Elsewhere, things aren't quite as impressive. In our time with the drone, the battery lasted just 8 minutes. Thankfully, 2 are included in the box, and the drone didn't fly stably in anything but the calmest conditions, so you'll need to make sure you attach the included prop guards. While the app is nice and simple, we also experienced issues pairing the controller and drone. It required lots of switching both items on and off to get them communicating, which is never fun. The live view camera is also best treated as a pilot aid first and a camera second, due to its low resolution and lack of stabilization. Use it for the odd snap, we say, but don't expect it to deliver aerial footage that's as good as the best beginner drones in this list. That's all for today. All the product links in the description down below. We are trying to review products according to the needs of our subscriber. If you want to know briefly about any product, then please leave a comment and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button for the upcoming video notification.